taken into the corner of constant fun
Oh, yes.
with this AI, and
Game.
even more we can see artificial account that looks so realistic
Mhm.
that it's completely insane. But obviously we again gave this signal we want more.
Yes. Yes.
So they prepared the product for us. And as you speak about the equality in AI, there is a free version, there is a premium version, there is a VIP premium version,
Pro
still
version.
addressed to the masses,
Yeah.
right? Does government is using the same AI as we do?
Yeah, absolutely. And what AI is the AI developers using? Because I'm quite sure they don't let us access to any of that stuff,
Mm.
you know?
I mean, there is obviously it's like anything, isn't it? Because to a point they've had to monetize it, obviously. There cannot be equality in AI. And I suppose where I talk about democratizing AI, I guess as in Animal Farm, where the animals were duped, let's face it, they were lied
Yes.
to. AI, I guess, is pretty much the same thing, and that maybe we're duped, maybe I'm duped into thinking I have more control than I really do, by making certain decisions, by interacting in a certain way. Maybe I think I can say we can democratize this and not allow it to steer us. But actually, if you think about it, let's face it, they're trained, they're taught using stolen content, stolen images, or they're scraping what already exists on the internet. Now, a lot of that is already put out there, and Google can find the same thing for you. Well, obviously, we've got Google AI now, haven't we? So that, but nonetheless, it's being trained. So it's not actually completely equal, because the content that we'll be accessing will be decided or determined by whoever is sitting at the top of that hierarchy. But we'll be duped into believing that we are free in this, that we're making these decisions about what we access, what we don't. But are we really? Probably not.
Mm.
And that's very similar to how social media has gone. We think that by searching a particular topic or whatever, but we know, but we ignore. I think people have got to be pretty stupid not to know, but it's nudging us in a certain direction. AI is doing the same.
Mm.
And there cannot be equality when, let's face it, they're creating a system where the labor has been provided by people that have not been paid for it. Or, I mean, they're even taking whole books now, aren't they?
Yes.
So why would we buy the book? So it's a major issue. I mean, if you think about where that sits with Animal Farm, it's almost like it's a perfect replica, I guess, in the system that they created, the illusion.
Mm.
The pigs that
Or
came along and took.
Denmark, it was Denmark, I think, that they have introduced a law.
Mm.
You own your face.
Oh, really?
Yes, because of the AI system has developed so much that in case someone is using your face, you can sue them. And it's by default. Why you need to introduce the law? It's the buzz action.
Yeah.
They show we care about you, dear masses. We want to protect you.
Yeah.
And because you do think, you follow. Oh my God, they want to protect. We are the first country that they will protect us. Why? If I will use your face, if I will even use your voice, I am without extra specific law breaking the law.
Mm.
So by law, you own the face.
Mm. that'd be fascinating to see how enforceable that is, if it's enforceable at all.
right?
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
that's that's again that goes back to the illusion, isn't it? That's putting a law in that people like, and they think, I'll go along with that. That sounds brilliant. It's probably one of the laws in Animal Farm. They're all similar to the laws that they started in Animal Farm. Everybody went along with them, all the animals went along with it because they said, yeah, that sounds really reasonable. That sounds brilliant. I want that. I forget all that there were seven of them, weren't there?
Mm.
And over time, the laws didn't work or they didn't apply, so
Mm.
they got rid of them. And then the animals slowly realised that, oh, actually, the law that I wanted, because I think at one point in the book, when Napoleon, who's the chief pig,
Yeah.
he starts off with Snowball, doesn't he? But they get rid of Snowball, and he starts changing the laws, and then he has purges of the animals who in his eyes and his eyes only are breaking these laws, and then the laws go because the animals that are left think, oh no, I don't want that law because look what happened over there. So well, I'm quite happy for that law to go. And of course, they just ended up with one law at the end of it. And the same thing's going to happen with these laws.
Mm.
They'll introduce a law for this sort of thing, and then somebody somewhere will do something that people then think that law is now unpalatable, and what they thought they wanted, they'll be duped into they're not wanting
Mm.
because of some legal case or whatever. That's my somewhat cynical view of all of these things, because you know that law is not enforceable at all.
So you're saying the gas we're being gaslit.
I think so. I think we're being gaslit on a massive scale, and we're going along with it because people are coming out with. I mean, in the UK, they've got this Online Safety Act, and but they haven't got an AI version of it yet,
Mm.
and all the things we come out, and this is no disrespect to the government per se, but everything that they're talking about is at least 3 years, 2 years out of date because the technology is moving so quick. Um, so I think we're being sold, not to mix my metaphors. I think we're being sold a pig here because we're being sold something that we didn't realize we needed, and there's no I don't see the end game of it. I mean, if I buy a new car, okay, I can understand that because I'm going to get a new car, I'm going to drive it, I'm going to do all these things with it. I've got a clear end goal in mind when I've got this car. There's no end game. At least it's not being sold to us as there being an end game with AI. So there must be an ulterior motive somewhere along the line, because we're being led down a path, but we don't know where the path is going.
Or isn't it about creating complete and utter dependence, a bit like they were on the pigs?
Well, that could well be what we have been sold, except we don't realise it, or we haven't realised it.
No, because I mean, if I mean, it's not. It doesn't. I don't believe that it's going to suddenly replace loads of jobs as such,
Mm,
but it becomes so integral to processes and systems
yes.
um, that it's almost like you won't be able to do without it.
Hmm.
Um, and so therefore, yeah, it's utter complete dependence because they're going to run out of ways of being able to earn money out of it because it doesn't earn money, does it? It takes so much more investment.
Yeah.
Um, it has nowhere to go really.
Mm.
It's
I
limited.
think it has lots of dark places to go.
Well, yeah.
Yes, and we are hearing about centralization, the system centralization. Um, I can't imagine that in one app there is my own existence as a citizen of the country. My bank account, my ID, my retirement, pension, insurance, medical records, everything in one.
Mm,
What do they plan next?
mm,
Replace physical ID with the electronic.
mm.
So you have less in your hands to prove who you are. Then, and already now, they are doing the big conversations, debates about the cash.
Mm. Yeah.
Why do we need to print the cash? People should use the cards. Now, you are existing only in the app. You have no cash, you have no ID, you are there. How easy it is to remove you from the system.
Yeah, completely. Because your data, your personalized data, including medical records, any criminal history you've got, or anything, down to your driver's license and your blood type, all of that sort of stuff, the data becomes the currency, and the
Yeah,
data is the way of
yeah,
making cash
yeah.
because they make it so you can't. They know so much about you that it's impossible to do anything without
Why
paying them.
governments?
Paying them to use your own data is probably where I'm going with that. Um,
Mhm.
that's the way to monetize it because your whole person becomes property
And I
in the
think that
ultimate way.
this AI story is just to drop on us, to
Mm.
entertain us, to
Yeah.
distract us.
Yeah.
So we are not developing,
Hmm.
we are not engaging in critical thinking, as Sam said. And so we are more vulnerable to
Yeah.
possess.
Yeah. Absolutely, we are. And that's they can't they can switch us off
Mm,
if you like without any reason. So a really good example, actually, that's happened recently in the UK was I think it was HMRC and the pensions department. They were looking at people's travel records, and people would this particularly applied in Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland, because a lot of people fly out from Belfast in Northern Ireland, but they fly back to Dublin, and then because of the way the airports are, that often works for a lot of people. And this was particularly to do with child benefit. And what they were doing is they were cancelling people's child benefit because, according to whatever system they had, they'd flown out of the UK. So they'd flown out from Belfast in the UK. But because they'd flown back in to the Republic of Ireland, it wasn't showing up on the system that
mm.
they'd gone back to the UK because they'd driven the rest of the way. And therefore, the system said, well, you've been out of the country for more than 8 weeks, whatever it is.
Oh,
Your benefits have stopped. And
No,
yeah, this was reported in The Guardian, it was. And then it turns out that there were tens of thousands of cases where this had happened because the system wasn't set up correctly to deal
that's a
with people who
control.
might have travelled. One person said that they'd flown to a wedding in Amsterdam or wherever it was, and the wedding was cancelled, so they'd flown somewhere else, and that was showing up that they just left the country because they'd flown somewhere else and then they came back on a ferry or whatever it was. So it was some story like that.
Isn't
And
it a control?
yeah, and the benefits, and they weren't going to do anything about it. They had to. The people had to go through so many loopholes, and this sort of ended up going back. They had to prove that they'd be back in the country for 6 months and show bank records and show all sorts of stuff. And these people were saying, "Hey, I came back the next day or the next week, whatever it was. My kid's been to the school for the last however many months it was. We are here, um, But yeah, but that's a good example of where a little thing in the system, your data in the system, can really cause massive headaches. And they weren't going to do anything about it, but then the story ended up in the papers, so I think they have sorted some of it out now. But that just shows that your data becomes your currency, because they could obviously they could keep all the child benefit. They weren't going to give it out to people who were doing things perfectly legitimately and didn't think that doing this route was going to cause them all this grief. Absolutely ridiculous.
Despite they say the life will be better, who is not keeping paper version of any single document?
Yeah.
I have few boxes.
I think I've got one file.
And carrying everywhere.
So I wonder then, in theory, is it possible that our existence digitally in the AI system is how we exist, and that if we're deleted from that, like as in Animal Farm, animals were deleted.
They were, yeah.
Will we effectively, even though I live, I breathe, my heart still beats, cease to actually exist because we don't exist in the system? As we could be chucked off. I mean, I don't know how far it will go, but in theory, we could be chucked off if we challenge AI too much. I mean, Elon Musk's AI, he's feeding it algorithms, or rather he's tailoring the algorithms to make sure it's producing the responses that he approves of, for example. Because could we find ourselves where there's so many different platforms and you're belonging to these platforms? So we no longer have countries, we now have tribes, and it's which AI you belong to. I don't know, I'm just finding it really roundabout there.
No, yeah.
Have you ever felt like AI is taking over?
Well, we know that AI is the biggest workplace shift since the internet, and it's already here. This is AI and I, the age of co-intelligence.